It is how you can dominate with Graves in Season 15 even when everyone is calling him trash. Although Graves is not in a great spot right now, avoiding these mistakes will highlight the difference between good and bad Graves players. In this jungle breakdown, I'm diving into critical mistakes to avoid and game-changing habits to master in the early, mid and late game. These tips will not only make you Graves god, but also level up your jungle skills with any champion. Stick around to fix what's holding you back and start climbing those ranks. This isn't just a Graves mistake, but a lot of junglers make it, prioritizing Scuttle Crab after their first clear instead of ganking a side lane. Early in Season 15, your focus should be on fighting and ganking, not farming Scuttle Crab, which isn't as valuable as it used to be in the past seasons. For example, this Graves had vision on Viego, but instead of setting a trap to stop the enemy team's dive, he wanted time on Scuttle. This let both mid laners rotate bot, turning a 3v3 fight into a 4v4 that his team couldn't win early against the enemy's comp. By the time Graves got to bot, Alistar was already dead and Viego blocked his path. The main takeaway: don't pick Scuttle over a potential bot lane fight. Don't force a fight too late like this Graves did. Hit red buff and grid stacks Graves is strong early, so use that to gank, not to farm. But Graves can carry early if you make the right call. In the next clip, Graves makes two mistakes actually, the first being a bot lane fight and he starts Drake instead. I will show you a better example of when to start Drake in a few minutes. The other mistake is him not being patient enough, and instead of getting a kill on Viego, he shows up too early and actually scares him away. Just be patient, it's fine to sometimes just wait if you have a reason for it. This clip is the prime example of game losing mistakes, and it happens so many times during my coaching sessions as well, I can't even list it all. This mistake is not recalling when you could be on a power spike. This happens during the first clear as well, and I made a video about that in the past, so check it out. But this mistake is even worse. Graves has U moves at this point, but he refuses to recall because there is a random fight happening. He has Dirk at this point and almost 2000 gold, while he only needs 1800 to get Ghostblade, which is a massive help. He delays his power spike and almost commits to a fight, which is a guaranteed loss since Viego has more items and they are winning at this point. Abusing power spikes and playing for them is one of the most important concepts in League. The next mistake can be devastating as well. I have been in this situation many times. Your team had a bad fight, you couldn't get in position to help them and you are pretty much alone. The worst thing you can do in this case is show on the map and give the enemy team a free kill. If you want to be the hero and go for a crazy play, just don't. Especially don't when you are ahead or you even have bounty. In this case, the best thing you can do is to minimize the losses and farm your jungle, recall all 4 minions. If you have to wait, it's fine, just don't give the enemy team another kill. The footage speaks for itself, but I will go more in depth and explain this clear mistake, which you might not even think about when you are in the actual game. Plus, as a viewer, it's easier to act smart. He is a master tier jungler, by the way, so what is your excuse for not being there? And you can say your teammates. If you pause the video and look at the items level difference, it's clear that Graves has no chance of winning this fight. When Baron is already up, giving the enemy team a free kill like that is a massive mistake. They lost Baron because of this, so the next time you want to save your support, think about it twice. This will be the last mistake in this video, so it's time to talk about the good things as well, but before that you have to respect vision and have to learn how to respect the enemy's priority as well. Graves could spot twice he was on board, yet he ignored twice just so he could go for the useless Scuttle as mentioned earlier, and die for it with his support. He had enough gold for Dirk from the first fight, but instead of recalling and buying the item, he gave away 600 gold to the enemy team. By the way, I'm working on a Mobile Graves guide, so if you don't want to miss that, definitely subscribe and hit the like if you find this content helpful. But let's talk about the next clip first, because this is what you are looking for instead of forcing fights. He was minding his business but saw what Silas was doing and punished him ASAP. If you keep a close eye on the minimap, you will find a lot of free kill opportunities like this one. You don't have to force fights to get kills. All you have to do is walk with open eyes. Every Graves player suffers from this, sometimes me as well, and I would call this carry syndrome. We all think sometimes that every teammate is dog shit, even if they aren't. We are the main star, we are the ones who have to carry these dogs. But that's not true at all. Even if you have to carry, you will never succeed without your team. This fight is a prime example in this clip. Graves was even behind. Just watch how much easier it is to play with the team. Don't go for solo plays, stay with your team, especially when they make a good call, and win the fight, which leads to winning LP as well. Like I said, opportunities will show up and it's always easier to make plays with the team. Someone is out of position from the enemy team, it happens to be Silas again, but with great pings and your team being around, you can actually kill Silas and get another free kill. It's a really similar situation to the one I showed you earlier from the same Graves player. This time he actually skips Cutter Crab and managed to clean up the fight on bot lane. When someone says you have missed opportunities, this is what they mean. If you went from Scatter Crab here, you would get a small amount of gold, but would have made your teammates angry and let the enemy team snowball the game. Instead, you cleaned up and you got some kills as well. Rengar is minding his own business while our mid laner is rotating, but even if this would be a fair fight, your team is ahead. You are stronger with better items and would have won this fight either way. But not the fight is important here, more like what Graves does after. At this point he already has Dirk and there is a Cloud Drake. From Graves' perspective, especially with your team around, this is a perfect time to sack a dragon. You almost never want to waste time on Drake without team help if you don't have Dirk. It takes too much time without it, so do it if your AD carry is good at taking such an objective. But now everything works. You have Dirk, 3 points on Q and a team to help you with the Drake. This is important for any carry jungler, not just Graves, but I don't see Graves players do this enough. Whenever there is a free wave, like when your laner died, feel free to take the minions. Your minions were attacking Zay for a second, so even though the wave was neutral for a second, it's better to crash it in this case to not create a slow push. Plus I wouldn't bother with this in the lower ranks. You better crash the wave and make the enemy lane lose some minions, while you got extra gold. The second to last clip will be about using power spike but being efficient at the same time. It's crucial to mix the two as a jungler. It's important for any role, but I think as a jungler you get punished super hard, especially if you mess up efficiency. Graves didn't see any plays happening, so even though he just bought Humus, he has time to farm some of his jungle camps. But he knows the priority is not the jungle camp anymore. The priority is to fight. So as soon as he sees there will be a potential fight in the enemy jungle, he ignores the camp even though he could have fully cleared it, which would have been a mistake, which many Graves players do in the lower ranks. Since there is a fight opportunity, you want to get there and look to fight with your team to get kills and get potential objectives. The key difference between an average and a good Graves player is an average Graves would force the fight no matter what, or went to full clear his jungle. Even if you are on a power spike, it's super important to wait for the moment and punish the enemy team for taking the fight. Here we have the final clip where many people would have gone top lane to clear from top to bot again, but that's not how you carry games, especially when Drake will be up soon. Graves instead goes bot lane and looks to fight before the objective to create priority and get the objective. Unfortunately though, one of his laners dies, so he will have to give up the objective and fall back into his jungle. He had the good idea, but sometimes it's not working and you have to give up. He didn't get Drake, but it was the right move to do it instead of going top and ignoring the objective. So the conclusion is always keep an eye on the objective timer and act accordingly. It might not always work out the way you want, but if you keep being consistent while adapting to the situation, you will climb. This was today's video and I hope you enjoyed it and learned from the mistakes, and I could show you some good habits worth noting. As always, a comment, like and subscribe are very appreciated for free coaching. Still join my Discord server. The mobile fire guide for Grace is in progress as well. So thanks for watching and all the support. See you all in the next video. Peace.